Just look at this for a second. The sky's doing that pink and the orange and the purple thing. There's bullets cutting across the bay, helicopters over the skyline, the Ferris wheels lit up on the water. And this is honestly just like a loading screen, a promo shot. And that's Vice City. And here it is again in the daylight on a postcard. Look at how blue the water is. Look how alive the whole thing is. GTA 5 was great, right? But at the end of the day, LA sits in the desert. The world was always just a little bit like washed out, a little brown, not like GTA 4 level, but washed out, right? But this one is the complete opposite. It's lush, like it's saturated. Place looks like it's breathing. And honestly, if you just like eyeball the skyline, the downtown core alone looks almost like double the size of Los Santos. And that's before even getting to the outskirts of the city as well. So the question was never, is GTA 6 and Vice City itself bigger? Of course it's bigger. The question is, how much have they packed into it? How much density does it have? And that's what this whole video is kind of about. So let's start with a screenshot of downtown Vice City. And this shot is honestly like one of the ones that made me go like, wow, they are not messing around. I'm pretty sure we got this screenshot pretty early into GTA 6's marketing cycle. And this was one of the first ones of, the city at night where it's like, oh, wow, like this city looks insane. So if you look in the middle there, you have an arena, which in game is called the Sahara Arena. And this is home of the basketball team. And it's clearly based off Kaseya Center, the actual arena where the Miami Heat play in, and Miami, host events like concerts and such. And the name's just a perfect Rockstar like satire, right? Sahara is essentially their Amazon in this game. And so this is essentially the Amazon Stadium, but in the GTA universe, which is a pretty cool nod. But the arena is not even really the coolest thing going on in this picture. The clutter in front of it, that's the Vice City Arts Center. And from what we can see in the image, they built a whole performing arts complex. It's got a concert hall, a ballet opera house, and a tower, a footbridge connecting two halves of it across the street. And yeah, I mean, this is another example of just one of those buildings that's going to make their take on modern day Miami feel that much more real. They built like a whole symphony hall. Going through all these screenshots, it's the thing I come back to a lot. Most open worlds, will give you a downtown of just a lot of tall glass that you drive past and can't enter, but Rockstar's putting actual culture down here, stuff to do that has nothing to do with shooting anybody or crime. And that's that jump that Red Dead 2 had, that it seems it's going to show up in this, version of modern day Miami in GTA 6. So the world will exist whether you're there causing crime and chaos or not. Now down to the water in this game and the beach. And right away, the first thing we can see is just how absolutely packed it is. In GTA 5, the beach was kind of just like there. You could walk on it, you could obviously go in the water, but there wasn't much to like actually do on the beach. It was just space. But in this game, it does look to be different. There's crowds, umbrellas, the jet skis are all over, the lifeguard towers, some guy out there with a metal detector, elderly tourists. Like it's got like everything in like its own life, going on. So here we have Ocean Beach, which clearly looks to be Rockstar's take on Ocean Drive, Miami, South Beach. And as you can see, the cop cars read Vice Beach. The hotels have their own signs. We have the Dominion, the Ocean View. And the Ocean View one's actually a nice touch. That was Tommy's first safe house back in 2002, and they rebuilt it for this game. But as you can see, supercars lined up, super neon, deco hotels right on the sand. This is going to be a hub for sure. I'd put money on that, whether it's single player or online. People are going to hang here, spend time here. They're going to have businesses, nightlife, cars here. Like it's a spot. And we already know from the Ultimate Edition information that there's a garage here you can grab with a weapon locker and a drop for local fence baked in. So even the beach has that stolen goods GTA economy already baked into it. And that's just from information we've been given by Rockstar, which isn't that much. Here's the bigger thing this is telling me though, is that water in this game is a priority. And I don't think that was ever really true before in GTA 5. Obviously they nailed driving, they nailed flying, whether it's the jets and the oppressor in GTA 5, but water was kind of an afterthought. And this one, I can believe from what we can tell from the marketing, it is definitely a priority. For example, Jason literally starts out in the Keys with a house on the water. The Ultimate Edition hands you a boat and a kayak right away. There are underwater screenshots stuffed with sea life. And the city itself, just like in real life, is split by a channel. Beach on one side and the downtown inland on the other, exactly like the real thing. So we'll circle back to the water, but the water is certainly going to be a priority. And so I think the beach in itself is going to be more of a location that matters in this game versus GTA 5, for example. So now getting into density and the different neighborhoods. So you look around for just a quick second, you can tell this isn't just another street. You've got dirt bikes going through the intersection, obviously. You've got these massive murals covering nearly every support column of the highway. You've got Caribbean looking storefronts. You've got tons of graffiti and palm trees squeezed below the highway. It really does have its own culture and personality. And if you look at these, the graffiti on the columns, you'll notice they spell out Perle. And I'm hoping I'm saying that right. And it's pretty clear that this is their take on Miami's Little Haiti. That's not confirmed, that's just me guessing, but it's clear that they're really putting care and attention into these distinct neighborhoods and giving them their own identities and cultures, which I think will help so much with making the world feel truly alive and like it exists beyond you just, doing your crimes. And that's something that I think will be a meaningful step up from GTA 5 and has me excited to see the rest of the neighborhoods. I mean, you also have this screenshot, which also appears to be from La Perle. If you look at the man on the left's chest, it does look like it spells out P-E-R-L-E, which is obviously Perle for La Perle. And again, this is just another example of how these neighborhoods are going to have culture and identity. You've got the grills, the jewelry, the tattoos, the bandanas, the hairstyles. Nothing here feels like out of place. Like this all feels cohesive and that neighborhood. And that's the difference that this game's going to have from GTA 5. They're building these, cultures and identities and neighborhoods. And that's not to say GTA 5 didn't have neighborhoods, but they just look like they're going to be even more fleshed out and even more, like their own little hubs in this game versus how they felt in that game where it's just like one or two little streets and boom, that's your neighborhood, And so that's why I think the map size thing isn't a huge deal. Like give me a city with distinct neighborhoods and vibes like this rather than, a huge big empty map. And I think Rockstar is going to nail that. Speaking of distinct neighborhoods, this one's already appearing to be my favorite. And this one's got lowriders, a donk on big chrome rims with a 23 in the window, art everywhere, warehouse walls. This appears to be Stockyard, which is going to be what appears to be the game's take on Linwood, which is kind of the car culture art district part of real Miami. Rockstar showed a whole car meet here in the first trailer, and it looks like we have a lot new confirmed locations here from the pre-order information. So we have Electric Fang, which is the tattoo shop, and that's confirmed to be in Stockyard. And we also have a streetwear store called Stock 305, which is also confirmed in Stockyard. There's also a custom shop called Rideout Customs that turns regular cars into lowriders. Full interiors, lifted stance, all of that. And this one's confirmed to be in Vice City. And if I had to bet, it's going to be right here. The logic's simple. This is the art and car district, with that exact kind of aesthetic. So it'd be a little weird not to put the lowrider shop anywhere but here, especially when you factor in the previously mentioned gameplay image that showed all the lowriders in an arty looking district. But that's just my guess. That's not anything confirmed from Rockstar. And I'll just be honest, like I love customizing cars in these games. It's one of my favorite things to do in the GTA games. So if you have a whole district in the game that's going to be built around car culture and art and shops clustered all together, that's where I'm going to live. Whether it's in single player or online, this is going to be the spot for me. I really hope that the game, has more depth to the single player businesses as well, and we can actually build an empire, and we have even more stores itself we can walk into. Because for GTA 5, as massive as it was, it did kind of come up short there. There really wasn't that many interiors and stores you could really go into. Red Dead 2 was a little bit better. Obviously, it's a little different because it's not, a whole downtown city. It's 1899, so it's a little different, but I hope that we see more of that in GTA 6 and more integral buildings and stores. So yeah, but overall, I mean, this district looks sick. I love the aesthetic, and it's somewhere I expect to be a lot. Speaking of Stockyard, I did want to go into the specifics on this specific store called Electric Fang Tattoo. So this is the actual description on the Ultimate Edition that confirmed to us the neighborhood name of Stockyard. So on this tattoo shop itself, it's called Electric Fang. It's got 50-something designs, and it's all done by a real-world art collective. And it's the little touches and things like that is what makes Rockstar such a good developer and why GTA 6 is going to have such an alive feeling, immersive world. Obviously, they probably could have done that way easier than getting, 50 real designs, but stuff like that is what really makes it feel that much more real. But this is what actually gave us the name Stockyard of this neighborhood. Then you had Stock 305, the streetwear shop as well. And this was just on a pre-order page on the Ultimate Edition information, right? And so there's a lot of players that wouldn't even read this, wouldn't even know. But if you do read this stuff, you kind of can start mapping and visualizing the world in your head. You kind of see all these descriptions, you understand where the gangs are, where the car culture is, what bay should you go to fish, what's the activities we're doing. You kind of can get an idea of the map and kind of visualize it in your head just from reading these descriptions, and it's just cool to see. So let's take a step back for a second, because it's easy to lose the plot. Everything that I've shown you so far is the downtown. It's got its own arts complex, the beach, the Haitian quarter, the car district we just talked about. All of that is just one city. This is all within the Vice City region itself. And remember, this is just one of 6 regions among the Leonida Keys, the Grass Rivers, the Mount Calaga, Port Gellhorn, and Ambrosia. That's 6 total regions. So, and this is just Vice City specifically. So, when I say this game's gonna have density, like that's what I mean. This region alone has all these neighborhoods. So just let that sit in for a quick second. So here's the side of Vice City that the beat shots don't really show you. So there's this gang called the PTT Youngins, and their compounds in Southside Vice City. Which, going off the name and the look, I believe this is more of the inner city, the actual inland, grittier city side away from the beach area. Rockstar describes them as one of the loudest, most socially active gangs in the city, and they're growing premium hydroponics in places they really shouldn't be. And there's a whole mission around them where you raid a compound, grab the contraband, get out. And that phrase, socially active, is really interesting. Like, why would they choose that phrasing specifically? And given that the game's marketing has leaned so heavily on social media and things like influencers, my theory is that this gang is socially active in social media. And I believe that you'll be able to go on social media and maybe find leads for robberies and leads for missions, right? A flashy gang posting their stash, or like a target flexing online. And that gives you radiant, like live active robberies that you can take that are, nothing to do with the game. And just to be clear, that's complete speculation, zero confirmation at all on that. That is just me putting the pieces together a little bit. It would be a cool system, but again, just speculation. So moving on to the strip club called Jack of Hearts. And this is the strip club that's owned by Booby Ike. And Booby Ike's a character that we've been confirmed about and we know about. And he's kind of a perfect Vice City character. On the surface, he's a legit businessman, right? He's got the club, he's got a recording studio, he's, running legit businesses. But underneath, he's a criminal, plain and simple. The business is the front. I do think that this strip club is going to serve as a hub for us, given how much Booby Ike has been emphasized as a character that we're going to interact with, and the Jack of Hearts location has been. I think it will be similar to how GTA 5 was, where you'll be showing up for missions here and working with the people here, and this will be a hub for us during the game. Whether that's early game or mid game, I'm not sure, but you're definitely going to work for Booby at some point, and this will serve as a hub. I'm sure on that. And that right there is kind of the whole Vice City fantasy, right? Like, it's got the neon lights on the surface, but then you got the illicit businesses running everything underneath. And Rockstar is clearly wiring those two worlds together so that it all interconnects and feels one and the same. And that's a really cool version that they're building. All right, so I told you we'd come back to the water, and I'm really convinced that water is a priority for Rockstar this time. So as I mentioned, GTA 5 nailed driving and it nailed the flying aspects. However, water kind of felt at sometimes like an afterthought. But in this game, it seems to be a real focus. So starting with the boat, the Shih Tzu Squallow. It's confirmed that it's docked at a place called Washington Beach, and it's also set up for fishing in a bay called Gambit Bay, and that's from their official descriptions from the Ultimate Edition. And you also have screenshots of Jason fishing as well. So that's 3 things right there that show us they have different bays for boats, they have fishing, you're literally getting boats as part of the Ultimate Edition, as well as a kayak. So clearly water and traversal is clearly important for this game. Then you also have the port, which Rockstar straight up calls this port the cruise ship capital of the world, which is probably accurate to real life. And looking at the scale, you have the cranes, the cargo ship, the marina stuffed with boats. Like, that's a port with lots of boat activity. Water is everywhere in this game. So Jason, as we've talked about, starts in the Keys, which is the Florida Keys, basically a string of islands floating in the ocean. On top of that, the grass rivers are swampland, half water, literally by definition. The city's cut in two by a channel. In the trailers and what we know about characters as well as screenshots, you can pretty clearly see that boat smuggling is going to be in the game via Brian Heder. We can see from some trailers his little boat yard or boat dock area kind of being used as like a smuggling front sort of thing, it looks like. And like I've said before, Rockstar's had driving and flying figured out, and water was the gap, and the fact that they're closing the gap there this time really shows that this game's going to have all 3 methods of traversal figured out. Whether it's fishing, smuggling, diving, or just cruising the bay at sunset, it's going to be a really cool part of the game. So we'll see. So all together, we've got the beach, we've got the downtown with the art scene, we've got, the Haitian neighborhood that's got the graffiti, we've got the car district that I want to move into already. We've got gangs and grow houses and the strip club that's hiding in Criminal Empire, water literally everywhere you look. And that's just one of the 6 regions, not all of the 6 regions. And that's kind of why the size argument and the size thing isn't a big deal to me. I mean, bigger is great, but it's not, the end goal. The end goal is having a dense, livable world that we can, probably exist in regards to, gaming for a decade or more, the same way GTA 5 was. So the more alive and dense it is, the better. And I think Rockstar is going to nail this. Pre-orders, you know, are live now. It's locked for November 19th, and so we're good to go. So next video, I'm going to go through the next region, which I'm thinking I'm going to probably do the grass rivers next. Everglades seems like an interesting one to break down, and you know, you got the gators. So expect the grass rivers in my next region breakdown. There's a lot more there than you might think. And yeah, so anyways, I appreciate y'all. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.